Okay, so this is going to be my second attempt at making this video. Hi ladies, before I get into the story, how are you today? I hope all is well. All is well with me until Friday. When I think my nerves will probably be totally shot. Anyway, so um today I went to the doctor. I found out that I did not pass my baby. Um I had to have a DNC on Friday. So TTCing is put on hold. That sucks. But I'm gonna kind of like tell you a little bit about what happened that led up to me going to the doctor today and finding out, that everything was going on. So anyway, um, basically I had been spotting on and off since Saturday of last week, and I ended up having some reddish discharge along with it. Um, and I thought that I was coming on my cycle, my first cycle, but that's not what happened. Um, Throughout the day, it got progressively worse, where at one point I had to come in the house and change my clothes upon using the restroom and finding a big splatter of blood in the front of my panties. I'm so glad I did not have on like no cute panties and would have been upset about them being ruined. But anyway, so I saw that, and then it went away. I went to the restroom. No, I went outside for a while. I came back. I ended up I'm sorry, this outside stuff and all of these daggone jets and aircrafts that want to go by today is killing me. Um, but anyway, so what did I leave off? I have a brain fart going on. Okay, so later on, I started experiencing some cramping, like severe cramping, not like where I had to double over type of cramping, but enough where I was like, this hurts. I could really take some medicine for this. Um, Normally I could tough out my cramps because it's like it's natural, it's normal, unless they're like really doubling over hurting. And I wasn't double over, like I said, but it hurt to the point where I could have took some medicine because it was hurting in the front of my uterus and apparently in the back of my uterus because I felt it in my back as well. Like it was circling like I was in labor again. It was circling all around my waist. So anyway, um at that point I had some gushing coming out, and I went to check, and long behold, it was a panty liner full of blood, red blood, like to the point where I rolled the panty liner up. And I don't know what you do to just discard your sanitary napkins and things like that, but I usually roll mine up in some toilet paper. When I went to roll it up, blood squares out of it and got all over my hands. So yeah, it was a pretty good amount of blood. So once I did that, nothing else happened for the rest of the remainder of that portion of the evening. But just after my boyfriend left for work, it had to be like 1 o'clock in the morning. Hold on again. I'm so sorry about this. Like, and I want to get the video done because I don't think I'm going to be able to do it later. Um, but anyways, so um, after he left and everything, and it was like a couple hours after he left. Hey! Don't you put that towel in that pool. Um, so, I started, it wasn't even like no pain associated with it. It was just like I felt something down there. I pushed at it, and it started gushing out. It gushed out like 3 times. Like I pushed at it like 3 times. It gushed out, and I went to take my clothes off, and change whatever, because I felt my pants were wet, and I needed to change my underwears and things like that. I saw the blood running down my legs, and I was like, oh, 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 I gotta get a towel, catch it, and I run into the bathroom. So I went in the bathroom, I go to wash off or whatever, because there's all this blood all over my legs, all around my crotch. It's just like blood everywhere. It's like a scene. It's blood in the toilet, it's blood around the toilet, because I'm like on the toilet sitting, like trying to see if it's going to be more blood, coming out. So that's what happened. And then the scary part came, where I was washing off, and I happened to look in the mirror down at my vagina, and I saw something red on my hair. So I tried to wash it off, and it wouldn't come off. So I was like, what is this? So I pulled it, and it's like this big glob of red something, and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? Oh my God, it's like another placenta or whatever. So I immediately called, after I cleaned up and everything, got new clothes and, everything cleaned up. I immediately called the OB's office and talked to the answering service nurse and let her know what was going on, the whole story, because she was asking me questions about what had happened. So I told her, she told me, instead of you coming in Thursday, and I was coming in Thursday, which is tomorrow, for, just like a follow-up and see what the spotting was from, to see whether or not I had actually conceived, because, mind you, I don't know if I said it in my last TTC video, but we had been sexually active 9 days after, this whole situation started, because I stopped bleeding 7 days after. So we was like, oh, it's time to go, we can get back on to our regular routine, on to our regularly scheduled programming, So, like I said, I saw the spotting a week to the day that we started, trying again. And I'm like, oh, this must be implantation bleeding. Oh, let's go to the doctor and see what's going on, spotting or whatever, and, just find out. So she told me, don't come in on Thursday, come in tomorrow and see. We need to do some tests. We need to do some, some regular procedural things to see what's going on. So anyway, I go to the doctor this morning, and I talked to the nurse practitioner that was there. She told me pretty much, what was about to happen, and she was like, I'm getting ready to have an ultrasound to see what's going on, and they'll make their decision from there. So I get in the ultrasound room. I talk to, the ultrasound tech. I had never met her before. The ultrasound tech that usually does my ultrasound, she wasn't there. She's in the Greenbelt office today. So anyway, she starts doing the ultrasound, and I said I wasn't gonna look, and I looked, and she's like, I'm gonna check you I'm gonna do some type of anatomy, like reproductive anatomy scan, because she wanted to see if I had cysts on my ovaries, fibroids in my uterus, anything, that could cause any type of complication. She did see the mass where the baby is. The baby is actually not a baby anymore. The baby is, I don't know. It's like a blob now. It doesn't even look like a baby anymore. It's a blob. The baby didn't come out. The baby is still in there. Whatever came out of me was probably blood clots and pieces of the placenta coming out. The actual baby is still in there, because she tried to check for a heartbeat again and make sure that this baby is demised. Even though, like I said, it looked like a blob. It didn't look like a baby at all. But she did try and see if she could see a heartbeat. And it was no heartbeat. She picked up my heartbeat, I think. Because there was sounds, like heartbeat sounds, but it wasn't fast like, a baby's heartbeat should be. So it wasn't a baby's heartbeat. So, pretty much from that point, she said, oh, well, you have baby matter still in you. You didn't pass the fetus. They'll probably do a biopsy on the fetus to see, if there was any type of chromosomal abnormalities or anything that I should be worried about. But she was like, you shouldn't be concerned about it because you're still young and you have 4 other children who are healthy, had healthy pregnancies before, so there should be no reason why it would be like a problem now. If it were like my first pregnancy or even my second, then it could possibly be some sort of, something where they could be concerned, but it's not. It would be my 7th pregnancy, actually, because this is I had 2 abortions before, and then now the miscarriage, and then I have 4 kids. So yeah, my 7th pregnancy. So yeah, that's pretty much what she said. And then she saw I saw 2 follicles of, like ovulation, or my ovary preparing an egg to be released. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, oh my goodness, that's so cool to, be able to see the follicle actually. And she measured them, and she was like, I was like asking her, is there any abnormalities with, hi boo boo, if there's any abnormalities with the follicles. And she's like, no, if they were gray or they were rigid outside, and she just named all these different descriptions of what would name an abnormal follicle. And my follicles look great. She was like, they're growing, and they were like, on there they look hollow, but it's not hollow, it's black on the inside. And she said that's how it's supposed to look. And I was like, you can see the follicles now. And she was like, yeah, some people do testing at this point, before they conceive, and they do non-invasive testing like that, to, like, they will come in every day or every other day to measure the follicles to kind of catch that, what is it called? I'm going to say what is it called? I'm having a brain fart right now. Ovulation, to catch that, or just before the egg is released, you catch that or whatever. So anyway, that's what was said with the ultrasound. Basically, I didn't pass the baby yet, and I had some blood clots. You are so silly. I had some blood clots in there, so they want to do a DNC on Friday, and I was pretty nervous. I was asking a bunch of questions, and then I was like, so when can we have sex again? And she was like, I wouldn't be thinking about that right now if I were you, but whenever the bleeding stops. And I'm like, okay, great, because we, like I said, we want to get back to our regularly scheduled programming with, our sex life. And because the spotting and stuff this week, we haven't done anything, and that's not like us. If there's no blood happening or anything, or in some sort of infection or whatever, then there's a go for everything. So it's like, we trying to at some point, get it back in. So anyway, what ended up happening with that was, I got scheduled in the office. They drew some blood, and they are possibly going to do a biopsy on the miscarriage, product or whatever, and I'm going to be put to sleep. And that really scares me because I've never had any type of surgery. I've never had a C-section. I've never had any type of surgery. The only thing that I've ever done that called for any type of anesthesia was when I had my abortion, and I was sedated. I was not asleep. I was sedated for that. And when I had my epidurals. So I'm like totally like, oh my God, I'm so scared. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I'm really nervous. So that's why I'm kind of like doing this video now, because I know when my boyfriend comes home, he's going to be acting, different or whatever, because he's going to be like, my baby got to have surgery. She, is going through all this stuff, and, he's pretty much going to be a little sea biscuit. That's what I'm going to call him. A little sea biscuit, because he's going to act different towards me. Not in a bad way, in a good way, but he's going to be very concerned about what's going on, because he's never had to deal with anything like this before. So, but everything happens for a reason. And it's funny enough that this is happening now, because when we first found out that we were pregnant, we automatically, I'm sorry for those who may be watching that are Sagittariuses. I'm sorry. But you have to be a realist on this situation. And I hate to get all astrological on you and, whatever. But for us, people in our lives, I don't know about you. I don't know about your life. I don't know you, personally. So it is what it is. But in our life, Sagittariuses in our life are very selfish. Fine. So, the Sagittarius is like I said, are very selfish in our lives. And according to the way that I've delivered before, we were going to end up having a Sagittarius instead of having a Capricorn. I was due January 15th. So, more than likely, we were going to have a Sagittarius, because I never, ever carried a full-term baby since my second child. My second child was actually born just before the 37-week mark, which marks the full term of a pregnancy. So I had him even days before. The only child that I carried full term was my first child, and that was 39 weeks. And since then, it's gotten shorter and shorter. My two daughters were born in 35 weeks. So, like I said, I will probably have between a 35 and a 36-weeker baby. So it was still going to be a Sagittarius, and I don't want a selfish child. I'm sorry. And no, I don't know what my child would have been like, but I would hate to have a selfish child, like seriously. And as well as other characteristics. And then on top of that, it probably would have been a girl, because of the way that my symptoms were. They were just like mirror image of what my pregnancies were like with my girls. So, I'm trying to keep this under 20 minutes, so I'm going to try to hurry up a little faster. Anyway. You went to the bathroom that quick? Yeah. Okay. So, anyway, what ended up happening, hold up, I lost my train of thought. So we talked about it while I was pregnant, and we were like, oh, that would be so awesome if we had a Taurus. And he's always wanted to have a Gemini and a Scorpio. So we might get our chance to either have a Taurus or a Gemini. I already have a Gemini, and he loves him to death. Like, he's a Gemini, but on the cusp of a Cancer, because he was born 2 days before it switches over to Cancer. So he kind of has both signs on him. And I myself am a Cancer. So we might, depending on when we conceive, we could have between, it depends on when we conceive. Based upon now, it's the end of July, basically. So I probably would still be considered in April. I'm not sure, but we can have between Taurus, a Gemini, or a Cancer, depending on when my cycle kicks in and starts over and we actually conceive. So we're gonna get trying. Like I said, as soon as I start bleeding, I think I might be temping this time, BBT temping. I haven't really made up my mind. I might even go to the doctor and let them do follicle checks. I don't know. We'll play it by ear. But I'll update you guys after I have my DNC and tell you what the doctor says and everything. And keep me in your thoughts and prayers, please, because I want to be alive. I'm really nervous. Like I said, I'm really scared. And basically, that's it. Until then, you guys, enjoy your day and check out my hair. You see all this new growth? Really quickly. And the back, I love the back dreads. Like, they're already budding. Which is crazy because I only had my hair done for like 3 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm loving it. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.